How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the To Be Alive podcast. This is your host, Akash. This is my second video of this new kind of style of just solo riffing, um, long form, sort of long form. It's like 25, 30 minutes. So we're working our way to long form. Um, there was two things I wanted to do today. One was reflect on the experience of creating the first video and watching it back so many times. I watched it back so many different times. And then also talk about love as a concept, like what actually love has been in my own personal journey. And yeah, it's been a very, very active, kind of alive topic for me. So yeah, let's see where this goes today. I'm excited. As always, I don't really prep for these. I just have a topic and I just kind of riff. And I want to practice just speaking whatever is on my heart, on my soul without thinking too much about it. I think that's where I feel the most authentic. So going back to that first video, which if you haven't seen it, you can check out. The name of the playlist I'm forgetting. I think it's something like speaking aloud about everything and nothing. And I have a tendency to be very self-critical. So I was looking at the video and I'm like, oh my gosh, you are looking side to side. You're not looking at the camera. You're using so many filler words like, and there was this voice. I was just like, honestly, like really just going after me. And I have obviously a lot of experience with this voice and learning how it works and what it's trying to do. So even though it was saying these things to me, I didn't necessarily feel the effects of it. And I was really excited to make another video. I'm really happy with how the framing of this looks. Like if you guys know me, I don't know why I have a hard time saying I'm a photographer, but I guess I'm a photographer. I do photography. And so I love this idea of setting up frames in a way that looks pleasing. So I'm happy with how that looks. I'm happy with the lighting. There's probably a couple tweaks I'll make here and there, but for the most part, I'm very happy with how everything turned out. And it was honestly, it takes a lot to post these videos. I had so many supportive comments. Like, a lot of you listen to my podcast regularly. So thank you so much. Like legit, thank you for your supportive comments on that video. It was, you may just be commenting, on the fly of like, oh, just supporting a friend type of thing. And also, I'm sure you mean what you're saying. But I just want you to know, like, it really means a lot to me to read your guys' comments. There was one guy who posted something that was like kind of a negative comment, and I was like, he, anyway, and that was fine. That's gonna be a whole other experience, If and when this podcast gets more reach, I'm sure I'll start reaching people that don't agree with what I'm saying or have a problem with what I'm saying. So that'll be a fun little challenge for me to learn to love myself and accept myself, even when people are maybe aggressively disagreeing with things I'm saying. My purpose here is not to convince you of anything. My purpose is not to do anything other than just be me. And part of being me is I just like to share wisdom, and that's it. I like to share wisdom. I like to reflect on my experiences. I like to think out loud. I'm constantly like thinking about really big picture things, as well as just like how to live a normal life, do normal things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing this. All right. So what I wanted to talk about is love. Love is such an interesting concept. Like I find love so fascinating. So first of all, the heart, like we call it, like the heart, the symbol of a heart, or just the word heart, kind of represents love, right? And if you think about love, if you think about the heart, obviously it's an organ on our body, a very important organ on our body. And I always wondered, like, why is this part of our body associated with this feeling of love? You know, like why aren't other parts of our body associated that strongly? Like, I don't think there's any other part of the body that is that strongly associated with a particular emotion or a particular state. I wouldn't even call love an emotion. It's a state. Um, it's a quality actually, but we'll get into that. It's a quality. And I always find that interesting, right? Like, why is it not, or why is it the only organ that like represents such a powerful aspect of the human experience? And then we have like the heart symbol that represents love in a lot of ways. And then we're kind of sold this idea of love as kids, right? From like all the Disney movies we watched as kids. Um, there's this like sentimentality to love. And my like hot take on it is that we've actually been like kind of led astray. Like we've actually been led away from what love really is. These ideas, these stories that we've been fed our whole lives from media that we've consumed, from the way our parents talk to us, from you know friends, parents. Like it's just in society. So it's no one. I'm not blaming any one person. It's like it's in like our society is set up in a way, at least in the West, where love is like this thing to strive for. Like I want to fall in love. I want to live happily ever after with someone. Excuse me. There's kind of this sense of like once like love is like this end state. It's like this final kind of destination of like once I find love in my work, once I find love in a partner, once I find love in my friendships, like everything is good. Life is great. And so we set off looking for love in all these different places. That's literally a song, looking for love in all the wrong places, right? And my take is I don't think that's what love is. I mean, sure, it is an aspect of love. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the entirety of it. In fact, it's like probably the most irrelevant aspect of love because it's like it creates this idea that we have to go and get it. We have to earn love, right? We have to go and do things to earn the love of, I mean, of all the people that we want to earn love from, like, authority figures, parents, partners. And so it's like this thing that's outside of us. Like I have to go and set out on this adventure and find love, right? I've been obviously on a deep, deep contemplative, meditative, spiritual journey over the last 3 years. And the concept of love shows up in almost every tradition that I've come across, but like they're always represented a little bit differently. In the East, love as it exists in the West, like in the Bhagavad Gita, in Buddhism, love isn't described as like this feeling of like, the feeling of like falling in love, like you know what I'm talking about. Like that feeling, it's not ever really referenced. But in the Bible in the West, it is, right? Like Jesus represented love in the most pure, whole, complete way. So I found that interesting. So, and then in my own experience, and I'm going to draw mostly from my own experience because I'm not like a scholar on any of these traditions. I've just kind of dabbled in them. In my own experience, the more and I'll explain what I mean by this, the more I love myself, the more I allow and accept the different parts of myself to be, the more love just kind of becomes present in my day, in my life, in the present moment. So that might sound kind of crazy. So let me try to unpack that. The quality of being present with whatever is here right now is love. When we, like, even right now, if you close your eyes and pause this video for like 10 seconds, and I encourage you to do this, if you close your eyes and you just tune into what is happening in your body right now, right? What is going on? Do you feel something, whatever emotion, whatever feeling is present with you, and notice your like orientation towards it. Like, oh, this feels nice, or oh no, this feels like I don't like this. I need to distract myself. I need to go do something else because I don't want to deal with that thing. And you'll notice that like we're just constantly trying to change what is right here in this moment. So when I'm meditating, and this is now just my life, like outside of meditation, my whole life's a meditation. But when I'm meditating, just to keep it simple, I notice what's coming up, like emotions and thoughts are coming up, stories are coming up, and or like even discomfort of sitting down, of oh, am I doing this right? Can I sit for like 30 minutes? Like these types of questions, these are all coming up, right? These are all things that are happening in the present moment as I'm sitting down to meditate. And when I actually allow those sensations and those feelings and those stories, whatever is happening, it doesn't matter what it is. But when I allow it through, like grant it passage, and this is kind of getting into like maybe advanced meditation territory. So like if you're not following this, like no worries. It's also not that complicated, and you probably have experienced this in ways you just didn't realize. But when I allow that through, when I accept and allow whatever is happening inside me through, there's this like enveloping of love that happens. So I'll feel like anger and I'll feel love at the same time. It's like this weird angry love. I'll feel intense grief if I'm thinking about something that's making me sad. I'll feel real deep grief, but it's going to be enveloped in love. So it's like this loving grief. And it feels like it's expansive. It's all like encompassing. And there's something about this that I think that all of the frameworks that we're taught, everything that we've learned our whole life, whatever it is, even if you've never sat to meditate in your life, like at some point we were taught what to value. We were taught what to, how to think. We were taught what kind of person to be to be successful, right? We were taught all these things, and then we were just set off into the world after college for most of us, and just expected to like figure it out, right? Go and figure it out. Here. It's like a video game. Like life became a video game of like, okay, go save for retirement, go get these things, make sure you have, uh, you have savings for the short term, long term. There's a whole method to personal finance. Make sure you have your health in order. Make sure you're doing some kind of movement every day. Make sure you're tracking yourself with different devices to make sure that you're hitting different. Like we're literally playing a video game, the way life is played, and we have to go and chase love, and we have to go and get love. And the more I'm getting into this, like the deeper I get into my work, the more I see that love is just always present, no matter what. So if you're feeling like, okay, I'll speak for myself, but if I'm feeling really restless today, which I did yesterday. So let's just talk about yesterday. I was feeling really restless yesterday. And and for a lot of the day, I was like, why am I feeling like this? Nothing has triggered this. Like nothing objectively is different in my life than the day before and the day before that. But I'm just feeling this sense of restlessness. And so I have coping mechanisms. So I'll go and scroll my phone for a little bit because I want to distract myself from that feeling. I'll go and listen to music, and I'll try to change that state, right? I'll try to feel euphoric music. I'll listen to euphoric music. I'll go, go for a walk or something. And none of these are wrong, but there's an orientation where I'm not letting those things through. I'm not letting myself actually feel restless. Like sit there and just be like, damn, I just feel restless today. I don't know why, but I do. And not making a story out of it. Right? Because what we like to do is we like to make stories. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm restless because I probably didn't sleep enough. Oh, I had a pretty bad dinner the night before. That's probably partially why I'm feeling restless. Oh, I didn't actually make a lot of progress on my job search. So that's probably a part of it too. Oh, I have that conversation with that person a few days back. I wonder if there's like a hangover from that, how deep of a conversation that was. Like, do you see, like, this is happening all the time. This is happening all the time. We're like going all over the place trying to like explain away what we're feeling. Because guess what? Explaining away what we're feeling gives us some kind of relief in the moment. So the mind is going like, let's figure out what's going on. And once we have an explanation, it's like, okay, I understand what's happening here. We're good. It's safety. It's the nervous system. Literally, the nervous system's like, yo, we got to feel safer right now because this restlessness. Nah, we got to feel safer. Mind, come and help out. Mind starts doing its thing. Oh, we have 5 different explanations for this. Cool. Now we just got to eat better. We got to go to sleep earlier. We got to, talk to friends. more vulnerability. We have to do all these things. And now that becomes like a to-do list that carries over into the next day. And then like every single day, this whole thing is compounding. And we have this backlog of things that our mind is telling us to like focus on and go do this, go do that. When all that's being asked of us is to sit with the restlessness and just be uncomfortable without making a story of it. That's it. Just like sit on a couch and like I can just sit. Like, and I did this. I sat on my couch and I was just like, let me just sit with this and not make a story of it. Let me go run my errands and do my normal things I'm going to do today and not make a story of it. I'm not saying I'm ignoring it. There's a bit of an art to this. Like you acknowledge the feeling. Like I'm acknowledging the feeling and I'm letting myself go. I'm letting myself just live my life. I'm not trying to overinterpret what's happening, overanalyze what's happening. And when I do that, the restlessness becomes enveloped with this love because I am allowing myself to feel restless. And that allowing of the present moment, letting it through, letting it rush through, that's all love is, because it's like we're not fighting ourselves anymore. Like I'm not fighting myself when I'm letting it through. So my life recently has just been like, honestly, every day I'm like, what am I fighting right now in the present moment? What am I resisting? What is trying to pass through me that I am trying to make a story and logically like, you know, put, tie it into a little bow tie and put it aside. 24/7. I hope this makes sense. I hope this makes sense because this is like no one's talking about this stuff. And honestly, this is so simple. Like it is so simple. Like you look at, I always go to nature because nature is already operating as intended. There's no distortion. There's nothing wrong with nature. I have this, like I always say this, but when we go and step into a forest and we see like all of the trees and it's beautiful and like we see, all kinds of like plants and flora on the bed of the forest. We see light seeping through the leaves. You can hear the wind rustling through. Like you can see wildlife, like squirrels running around. And we all love nature, right? We all love going on hikes. Like we all understand the value of nature. But you know what's also happening in nature? Animals are being killed. Animals are trampling and destroying flowers and other plants left and right as they're foraging around trying to find food. There's diseases like rotting trees from the inside out. There's all kinds of brutal, predator prey, situations happening. Animals are getting killed left and right. Like nature is actually brutal if you think about it. But we go and sit. We can go to any natural habitat, any place in nature, and we feel peace, despite the fact that all this like murder is happening at all times. I know this sounds ridiculous, but really think about it. Do you know why we feel so peaceful in nature? It's not because nature is inherently peaceful. It's not. Nature is freaking violent. It's because there's no resistance to what's happening. There's no one's thinking, obviously. There's no resistance to whatever is occurring in a particular ecosystem. If there's a drought, animals suffer, water recedes, whatever happens, plants shrivel up and then they die. And then 5 years later, the drought ends and everything is born again. And it's like, regardless, it's peaceful because there's nothing resisting the flow of what's happening. And I think we can learn from that. We can learn that like, oh, there's something inside of me that wants to come through just because it's uncomfortable, just because like it is, well, yeah, it's just uncomfortable. Like we don't want to feel it just because it's like creates pain doesn't mean it is bad. Like I think where we go wrong is like dividing things into good and bad. Like I want to feel this, or I want things to go this way, and I feel bad, and I don't like how this feels, and I don't want it to go this way. Right? The labeling of our experiences is what causes us to suffer, because now we're like trying to manage what is happening in the present moment. We're trying to like fight what is here in this moment. So simply like think, like if you understand this, like this took me a long time to realize, and when I realized it, it was like immediate. And I'm still there's still habits in my mind and my subconscious that that are still coming to the surface about how this all uh like looks in the real world. But when you realize this, like it is pretty drastic. It's a pretty immediate shift, and you may have to meditate a little bit. You may have to do some inquiry to have that epiphany. But this is really not difficult. This is like the ABC. Like this is as simple as it can possibly be. In fact, the whole point of all this is to unlearn all the other things that are keeping us from seeing this bare truth at the bottom of our experience. That like, hey, what is happening right now, no matter what it is what's asking to be honored and to be let through. And that might mean, if you actually are understanding this, that might mean for 1 week or 2 weeks, like we're just feeling like shit. That might mean that's the case. It probably will mean that early on, especially as we first start to like let this stuff through. But that, like, what else? What's the alternative? To live a life where I'm like constantly fighting myself? It doesn't make any sense. Like fighting myself does not make me happy. It doesn't make anyone around me happy. So who is that serving? And the only reason I was fighting myself for so many years is because I didn't know any better. So it's not like it's my fault. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. Like we just aren't taught these things. We're taught the opposite of this stuff. Like look at children. Children are happy and pure and in so much joy because they're not thinking about what they're doing. They're just, oh, I want to go play with this toy. Let me go play with this toy. Oh, I want to go scream and vomit. Like they don't care what they're doing. They have a desire and they go for it. Oh, they feel sad. They start to cry. Like children are enlightened, and we can learn from children. We can learn from children the way they move. Children are just like animals in nature. It's the same thing. You go watch your squirrels at the park. Watch what they're doing. Like there's like a ease. There's just like a coherence to the way they move. Same thing with children, even though like, we have to watch them and, there's dangers, don't get me wrong, but the intention of a child is pure. And we're the same. Like we're not any different than kids. We were once kids, all of us, until we forgot the basic kind of operating system that we're all born with. And it replaced it with this other operating system called the mind, thinking that the mind has all the answers. It does not have the answers. It'll keep leading us in directions that are just convincing. They're freaking convincing, but they're not real. They're not what we actually want. And my whole story, like, or my whole intention and purpose, I feel in this life is I want to remind you of your sovereignty, that you're not stuck, you're not trapped in the mind. No matter how comfy it feels, it will at some point start to crack. And it's honestly a beautiful thing when that happens, but it can be very disorienting because it's a literal complete paradigm change in how you see yourself and how you see reality and how you lead yourself in this life. Like it is disorienting, but in the best way. And I stand for sovereignty. Like my whole life has been dedicated to understanding like who am I and how am I moving and why am I moving the way I'm moving and what is the way I actually want to move, and then just live that life. Like I'm already doing it now. I'm at a place where, I give all credit to the powers, beyond me, but I'm moving with my pure desires. Like it's, especially compared to before, it is black and white, night and day. And I wish this freedom on everybody because it is our birthright. It is our birthright. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to suffer. Suffering is optional. Pain, inevitable. Suffering, optional. And knowing the difference is everything. So kind of tying this back to the idea of love, like love is simply what spontaneously appears when we begin to allow things through in the present moment. That's it. And it has this quality of wholeness. In other words, we need nothing more. When we're actually allowing the present moment to just pass through and be as it is, there is nothing more we need. The mind, it doesn't, because the nervous system is like, wow, we're good. The mind is not loud. You actually learn to relate to your mind differently from that place. And you just feel love. You feel whole. You feel complete. This is what like enlightenment really is. And we are all enlightened. We just forgot. That's how this stuff is. Like, that's just the facts. We were all enlightened and we forgot. So I hope this makes sense. This video was a little bit of a, I don't even know. I honestly have no idea what I talked about. And I don't know how long this has been going for. How long has it been going for? 27 minutes. Wow. I keep doing this where I'm like surprising myself with how long these are going. I'm proud of myself. This is fun. So I hope this was helpful. Please allow yourself to be who you are every moment. And if you need help with this, you can reach out to me. There's no obligation. I want to help people. I want to have a conversation with you. If this is something that resonates, you can click the link tree in my description to contact me. And just love. It's all love. It's all love. Much love, y'all. And I'll see you next time. Take care.